Well, hi Mandy. It's been a long time. I've missed you being on YouTube. I know you're in Fun Town and you've got limited access to internet and stuff. Maybe you're back now, I have no idea. But just want to show you how silly I look today. Raven says I look like a baby when I do this because I have this silly little like mop cap to hold my rag curlers in. Yes, I'm still experimenting with traditional methods of all kinds of silliness, and one of them includes hair curling because, I don't know, hot rollers and stuff aren't very good for your hair. So I got the fabric strips and the wrapping around the hair and tying it into big bunches and then putting a cap over it to keep it in place all night. So this is me ready to go for tonight. And yes, it does look a lot like a baby's bonnet. But hey, it works. I'm gonna get up in the morning, I'll make a video and I'll show you. I'll have all these awesome curls. It's so cool. It's one of those weird granny skills that you learn, but I didn't learn it from my granny. I learned it from a whole bunch of YouTube videos and then some research. So we'll see how it ends up tomorrow. So what I have to tell you, Anthony called me today and he said, I just want to let you know, I'm walking out. So he never called me back and I waited for him for an hour at home because I thought he was quitting work. And when I called him back, he's like, what? Oh no, I'm fine now, everything's fine. So, you know how he is. I got my stickers from PETA. I haven't joined PETA. I tend to not affiliate myself with organizations because then you're viewed as part of the organization as a whole. And I agree with PETA's stance on everything. I have not found any problems with understanding their literature and where they're coming from. Of course they're going to show them as shocking images and people hate them for that, but I mean that gets the point across. It's not all roses. Some of the stuff is, you know, would give you the impression that that's the way it is 100% of the time, all violent and animal care is just terrible all the time, but it's not all the time. And but I mean people need to think about it. There's no guarantee that's going to keep those guys safe in their little pens and however people keep them. So, I mean, I do agree with what they're standing for. But I had them send me some stickers and stuff so that Ileana could stick them on her lunchbox and they'd say stuff about her being a vegetarian so she could generate questions. It was her idea. She says that she's awkward about talking to people, but she gets a lot of questions because as soon as somebody realizes she's different, then it's like, what? You don't eat meat? And so she's decided to be a bit more in your face about it, and she's been a lot more outspoken lately. So here's some of the stickers. It says, meat's no treat for those you eat. Cruelty-free, rat stickers. I thought this was funny. I should stick it on the church. Jesus loves me too, and it's a picture of a chicken. And although this is not intentional, we all think it's funny to say it this way. Don't be a woolly bully. Being boiled hurts. And they're completely not related to anybody. It's just hilarious when you combine them. But one's a sheep and it says, don't wear wool. And the other one's a lobster. It says, don't boil lobsters because it's very mean. And you know how I am about that stuff. The garden's coming along good. I've got only 2 official fruits so far. I've got zucchinis, 2 zucchinis that are this big. They're little. But after our brief sunny spell, which lasted all of about a week and a half, it's rained and it's actually been so cold that everyone's been wearing jackets and jumpers and coats, and when the evening comes we're like closing the windows and getting under the covers like it's winter, and that's completely uncalled for. So when the man came to deliver my groceries today, I asked him if he could please do something about the weather, and he laughed at me, but he must have done something because it was sunny for a day. So it's been slow progress in the garden. I'm very disappointed, but there's still 3 more months that could potentially, August is generally the warmest month of the year, so they could potentially just be late and we'll have a late summer, late fall, late winter, kind of like last year, but we can only hope. Otherwise, all my efforts in the garden are in vain, and that sucks. So I've been having fun on YouTube lately. People feel very passionately about a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just really funny to jump in and put your 2 cents worth and then have a whole bunch of people reply back to you and tell you all this nonsense. Abortion's one of the ones that I got onto recently. Animal cruelty, but that just gets old, and I don't like seeing animal cruelty videos. Hunting. I really rattled some hunting guy's cage the other day. Actually, it was yesterday and this morning. And he got really, really angry because I said something. He was so proud of himself. He was like this dumb redneck, and he had hundreds of things he'd killed. And it was squirrels and jays, not blue jays, but the jays, the ones that are brown with the blue part on their wings. They're a really special bird. All those animals were special, and he had hundreds of them. Rabbits, pigeons, anything you could think of that you could just come across. Canada geese, not a pest, not a problem. None of them are really problems. They were just random animals that he had shot. And he was so proud of himself, and I was just like, hey dude, you know, that's really sad what you're doing. And I can't remember, but he got overly angry about it and sent me some big nasty reply, and it was awesome. And then the cutting the sheep's bums off thing that they do in Australia, that one really gets me upset. And the people that are for it obviously are the farmers, because if they were to do it any other way, then they would have an awful lot of work on their hands and their business would no longer be profitable. So they sit there and justify all of their cruelty and disgusting things they do. And I don't know, it brings me a certain amount of satisfaction going, you guys suck, why are you doing this? And so I've been doing that. I've done that a few times recently, and it's not like me. I don't usually do anything antagonistic, but I've just had a few days, you know. I think part of it's boredom. I was called a hobby farmer. Not a hobby farmer, am I? No. I think I'm a hobby human. I dabble in old-fashioned things, which includes animal husbandry, gardening, sewing, curling your hair in rag rollers. I used a jumper, a sweater. It was navy blue. That's what I chopped up for my rag rollers. So far that's worked better than anything. I used t-shirt before and it was too thin and flimsy, and then I couldn't get the knots undone. So hopefully if this stays in all night, I'll be really happy, and I'll do this every night because I love curly hair. So I saw your eyeliner thing touch up. It looked so painful. Not as painful as when you first came home with it done, which looked very scary at the time. But just the thought of the needles and the eyes and the... I can't do it. I want it really bad. I mean, you see my eyeliner? Maybe not. I'm kind of glared out today. But I do it every day of my life. What would I give not to have to do that? I certainly don't think I could go through with a tattoo. It would hurt. I think I'm a big baby. I never used to think so. I also made a big realization. I used to not be able to admit I was wrong, and I'm sorry for all the times I ever insisted on about things that were just nonsense, where I was actually wrong. I can admit I'm wrong now. I'm actually pretty good at it. And I think I'm a lot happier for it because I don't feel so defensive. I used to always try to not look like a dork, or not look like I didn't know what I was talking about. Now I don't care. If people think I'm an idiot, that's fine. Well, I guess better get going. I have absolutely no idea whether or not this YouTube is actually going to follow through. So I'll say goodbye now, and we'll see what happens. I'll give it a couple of minutes because then I'll cut off. So I miss you. Talk to you soon, girl. Bye.